There's no use drifting through life. What the world needs is doers, and one needs to get focused in order to get things done. Earlier on today, there's a piece of music that I've been wanting to finish learning. I've started learning it, but a piece of music on the piano that I've wanted to finish for a long time. And I realized that having the remainder of my stack of pieces yet to be learnt was sat there on top of the piano, and I thought, no, I need to put this stuff away and firmly make the decision to say, look, I've got to finish this one piece before I do anything else, so that I'm not spreading myself too thinly, and that when I'm starting something, I'm getting something finished. Because finishing is the only thing that matters. You can start things as much as you like, but results are what it's really all about. And a little while ago, I tweeted, I can't actually remember what the tweet was, but somebody replied, a friend of mine on Twitter replied to the tweet, and I said in reply to him, focus equals fortune. And I've been storing it away because I used to race and be desperate and want to prove a point so quickly. And I'm allowing things actually to percolate and really establish what it is that I think about them, and then express them in my own unique way, in my time and space, rather than feeling pressured, because I firmly hold, and I've always believed this, but I'm practicing it now. I firmly believe that stress is the enemy of success. I don't think you get anything really meaningful done in a panic or in a race or in a rush. Progress is actually, it's just focusing in on taking one step after another and realizing that you're not racing against anybody else. You're really not. And once you actually find your own rhythm and your own way of doing things, nobody can compete with that level of honesty and authenticity. They just can't. And we all have our place in the world. We all have our own unique visions and unique goals. And all of these things can work in harmony. They can work in tandem. But they don't have to be that one good and one bad. Don't fall into the trap of dualistic thinking. You don't have to. You really don't. Because you're never going to be able to do things the way that other people do them. And if you compare yourself to anybody, all that you're doing, again, is putting yourself in a submissive position. You're putting yourself in a really weak position. So you have your pace, your way of doing things. And I feel that I'm really I've said this a few times, but I really feel like I'm on the brink of sort of cresting the hill, if you like, because I've spent so much time trying to please other people and trying to also figure them out and say, why did they do that? And why didn't they do this? And so, well, my therapist said something to me last week, actually really life-changing and transformational. He was saying, well, what, with all these things, Martin, that you are sort of churning over and over and over and over and again in your head, well, why don't you just try, and I have actually, and it's very effective, why don't you just try of shelving all of these issues that you're just going over and over until you have new information to actually complete the picture. And if I'm just going over things over and over and over again, and I've not learned anything new, and I can't find any other sort of information about them, well then, shelf. It doesn't necessarily mean that's it, but everything has its time and place. And like putting away the sheet music so that it's not serving as a distraction, leave the one piece of information out in the open that I can actually work on, that I can actually develop, that I can actually complete and put to sleep. That means that you're going to be more methodical. You're going to see things through, and you're not going to leave any stone unturned with those things. There are a million questions that I've had about various people, but I'm never going to know the answers to them. And it's all a waste of time trying to make things different than they actually are. And I think what this idea of new information does, only dealing with something when something new surfaces, it brings a pragmatism to life and a sort of a functionality of just enabling you to get things done with the least amount of stress and confusion, just facing things that you can do head on. That opens up the new doors, that opens up the windows of opportunity, rather than just getting bogged down in the ditch of wishing things were different. And when I say focus equals fortune, that I replied to this guy, fortune can mean many different things, but really what it comes down to is actually getting things completed. That's really good. If you wish somebody good fortune, you wish them good luck, because they're setting out definitively and decisively on a path of action, and you're saying, good luck, I hope it turns out well. What you're doing is creating momentum and achieving things that you can be proud of, things that you can celebrate, rather than just thinking, oh, that thing didn't work. Make things work, and do that by being really decisive, no matter how frightening it may seem. It's very exciting. There's a little bit of fear actually with having that piece of piano sheet music on my piano, and that being the thing that I have to do, because it's actually a reasonably challenging piece, but it's very, very exciting, because I know that do a little bit of that every single day and keep building it up, and then having the sheer joy of learning the actual process and being able to play a beautiful piece of music on the piano. There are only wins involved in that. So be decisive, be bold, be brave, and get things done.